Imagine lying in pitch-black darkness, the cold stone walls whispering secrets, and the only thing keeping you from freezing is a sack of straw and a fading ember. Now, picture yourself in a medieval castle, not as a knight in shining armor, but as someone trying to survive the night. What kept people sane in a fortress where shadows seemed to move on their own? How did anyone sleep through the bone-chilling cold of a castle's stone walls? Could you survive a single night in their world? We're about to embark on a journey through the heart of a medieval night, peeling back the layers of romanticized fairy tales to reveal the stark, often brutal, realities. We'll uncover the ingenious, sometimes desperate, survival strategies, delve into the sensory overload of a pre-industrial night, and explore the psychological toll of living within walls designed for defense, not comfort. Prepare to challenge everything you thought you knew, as we reveal the hidden truths of how people survived medieval castle nights, drawing on historical data, archaeological findings, and fascinating psychological insights. To truly immerse yourself, consider watching this at 1.25x speed. The moment the sun dipped below the battlements, a different kind of war began within the castle walls. It was a silent, relentless battle against the cold. Forget the cozy, insulated homes we know today. Medieval castles were, at their core, defensive structures. Think massive stone blocks, drafty windows, and colossal halls designed to impress and deter, not to retain warmth. The very material that made them formidable fortresses, stone, was a merciless conductor of cold. Imagine the Great Hall, a cavernous space where the lord and his retinue dined. During the day, the flicker of torches and the bustle of servants might offer a semblance of warmth. But as evening descended, and the last embers in the central hearth began to fade, the cold seeped in, creeping from the flagstone floors up the thick walls, chilling the very air you breathed. It wasn't just a chill, it was a penetrating, bone-deep cold that seemed to drain the warmth from your very core. One of the primary weapons against this relentless cold was the fireplace. For the elite, the lord, the lady, and their most favored guests, a fireplace in their private chambers, or solar, was a luxury. These weren't the efficient, closed-system fireplaces of today. They were often wide, shallow openings in the wall, designed more for ambience and smoke dispersal than for maximizing heat output. A 2019 archaeological study from the University of York on castle architecture noted the challenges of heating such vast spaces, with many fireplaces serving more as a focal point than a true heat source for an entire room. The sheer amount of wood required to keep even one room adequately warm throughout a long winter's night would have been astronomical, a testament to the lord's wealth and status. But what about those lower down the social ladder? For the vast majority of castle inhabitants, the servants, the soldiers, the craftsmen, a private fireplace was an unimaginable dream. They huddled together, relying on collective body heat and the residual warmth from communal spaces. Picture a group of stable hands, after a long day's work, gathering in a small, windowless room adjacent to the kitchens. The constant activity of cooking, the warmth from the baking ovens, and the sheer number of bodies would have made these service areas comparatively warmer than the exposed Great Hall or a lord's private chamber. This often meant servants, despite their lower status, sometimes enjoyed a less exposed night than their masters. As the last rays of sunlight surrendered to the encroaching night, another profound challenge emerged: the darkness. Not the soft, filtered darkness of a modern city at night, but an absolute, suffocating blackness. Medieval castles, with their narrow, slit-like windows designed for defense, let in precious little light even during the day, and at night, they offered no solace from the encroaching gloom. The primary sources of illumination were candles and rushlights. Candles, particularly those made from beeswax, were incredibly expensive, a luxury reserved for the wealthy and for specific ceremonial purposes. Tallow candles, made from animal fat, were cheaper but smelled foul and burned quickly, producing a sooty flame that flickered erratically. Imagine the flickering, dancing shadows cast by a single tallow candle in a vast, stone chamber. It was a world of distorted reality, where familiar objects became monstrous shapes and every creak of the ancient timbers seemed amplified. For most, light came from humble rushlights, dried rushes dipped in animal fat. These offered a feeble, sputtering glow, barely enough to see your hand in front of your face. They were short-lived, smoky, and required constant tending. The mere act of navigating a castle at night, even for those intimately familiar with its labyrinthine corridors, was a treacherous undertaking. Steps were uneven, doorways low, and sudden drops could be hidden by the all-encompassing gloom. Think of Lady Eleanor, a fictionalized character based on historical roles, overseeing her household. As dusk falls, she meticulously counts the dwindling supply of beeswax candles, knowing each one represents a significant expenditure. Her fingers, accustomed to the finest silks, now tend to the crude wicks, a subtle reminder of the constant vigilance required to manage resources in a world where every necessity was a hard-won commodity. The limited light wasn't just about visibility, it was a symbol of status, a measure of wealth, and a constant reminder of the encroaching darkness that defined so much of medieval life. This limited light also intensified the other senses. Without visual cues, sounds became sharper, smells more potent. The echoing footsteps of a lone guard on patrol, the rustle of straw as someone shifted in their sleep, the distant howl of a wolf from beyond the castle walls, all were magnified by the absence of light. It was a world experienced through sound and scent, a primal existence where every noise held the potential for both comfort and terror. The romanticized image of a medieval castle rarely includes the olfactory experience, and for good reason. Castle nights were a symphony of smells, often overwhelming and rarely pleasant. The very nature of medieval living, with its limited understanding of hygiene and waste management, created an atmosphere saturated with distinct, lingering odors. One of the most pervasive smells would have been that of *** smoke from open fires ***. Even with rudimentary chimneys, much of the smoke from fireplaces and cooking hearths would have permeated the air, clinging to clothes, hair, and every surface. Imagine waking to the lingering scent of wood smoke, a constant reminder of the previous night's warmth, but also of the ever-present threat of lung irritation. Then there was the damp. Stone, especially in a temperate climate, retains moisture, leading to a pervasive smell of *** damp stone and mildew ***. This wasn't just unpleasant, it contributed to the chill and promoted the growth of molds, a silent adversary affecting both health and comfort. Perhaps the most challenging of all was the smell of *** human and animal waste ***. Despite the existence of guardrobes, essentially primitive toilets projecting from the castle walls, their efficiency was limited. Waste often collected at the base of the castle or in cesspits, and the stench, particularly on still nights, would have wafted back into the living quarters. Animals, both livestock and working beasts, were often housed within or very near the castle walls, adding their own distinct aroma of manure and unwashed fur. Consider the plight of a Gong farmer, the unsung hero of medieval sanitation, who would brave the stench to empty the cesspits. His work, though vital, was undoubtedly the most unpleasant of all. Even a high-ranking lord might have caught a faint whiff of the unpleasant reality below his chambers, a constant reminder that even within the mighty walls, nature had its own unyielding demands. The sheer volume of this background odor made the castle night a truly immersive, albeit often unpleasant, sensory experience. According to English Heritage's historical records, available on their website, the design and maintenance of guardrobes varied significantly, impacting the prevalence of these pervasive smells within different castles. To combat the more unpleasant odors, people often used ** sweet-smelling rushes and herbs ** on the floors. Lavender, mint, and other aromatic plants would be scattered, particularly in the private chambers and public areas, offering a fleeting, fragrant respite from the more aggressive smells. This act of scattering rushes was not just for cleanliness, it was a desperate attempt to make the enclosed spaces more bearable, a small act of domestic defiance against the overwhelming realities of medieval life. As the limited light faded and the pervasive smells settled, the sounds of the medieval night took center stage, often amplifying fears and superstitions. Without the constant hum of modern machinery or the distant drone of traffic, the night was filled with natural, and often unnerving, noises. The ** creaking of ancient timber ** as the massive wooden doors and floorboards expanded and contracted with the changing temperatures, could sound like footsteps in the darkness. The ** howling wind ** whistling through arrow slits and ill-fitting windows could mimic distant cries or disembodied whispers. Rain hammering against the stone walls, or the drip of water from a leaky roof into a bucket, became distinct, almost sentient, sounds in the profound silence. Beyond these natural sounds, there was the constant awareness of the unknown. Medieval society was deeply rooted in superstition and belief in the supernatural. Ghost stories weren't just campfire tales, they were a very real part of the collective consciousness. The dark corners of a castle, with their echoing chambers and unseen passages, were ripe for such imaginings. A lone knight on night watch, like our fictionalized Sir Gareth, might find his imagination playing tricks on him. Every distant rustle, every unexpected creak, could be a spectral visitor, a restless spirit trapped within the castle walls. Bestiaries, medieval texts describing various real and mythical creatures, often fueled these fears, with tales of night-prowling monsters and malevolent spirits. But the fear wasn't just of the supernatural. The castle was a fortress, and its primary purpose was defense. The constant, underlying dread of a siege or an unexpected attack was a heavy psychological burden. Could you sleep knowing a siege might start at dawn? The sounds of a distant horn, the sudden barking of a dog, or even the hurried footsteps of a messenger could instantly shatter any peace, plunging the inhabitants into a state of high alert. Share in the comments, we read every one. What sound would terrify you most in a medieval castle at night? For the common folk, the fear of nocturnal creatures was also very real. Rats and mice, ever-present residents of any medieval dwelling, would scurry through walls and across floors, their tiny scratching sounds magnified in the quiet. Larger animals, like stray dogs or even wolves, might venture close to the castle walls, their howls adding to the eerie nocturnal symphony. The vulnerability to these creatures, coupled with the ever-present threat of human enemies, made sleep a fragile, often interrupted, state. Beyond the physical discomforts, living in a medieval castle at night exacted a significant psychological toll. These were fortresses designed for defense, not for mental well-being. The constant awareness of potential danger, the isolation of profound darkness, and the sheer monotony of an unchanging environment could wear down even the strongest spirits. The sense of confinement within massive stone walls, particularly for those who rarely left the castle, could lead to feelings of claustrophobia or unease. The castle, while a symbol of power and security, could also feel like a gilded cage. For a lady of the castle, managing dwindling candle supplies and overseeing her household in the dim light, the psychological burden of her responsibilities would have been immense. The weight of survival, not just for herself but for all under her care, pressed down like the cold stone itself. The privacy, especially for the lower ranks, also contributed to mental strain. Sleeping in communal areas, sharing every aspect of life, left little room for individual reflection or solitude. The constant presence of others, while offering warmth, could also lead to friction and emotional exhaustion. The overwhelming darkness itself could be a source of anxiety. Humans are inherently visual creatures, and the prolonged absence of light can disorient and depress. For children, the darkness would have been particularly terrifying, filled with imagined monsters and looming shadows. The ghost stories and superstitions that permeated medieval society, while perhaps offering a form of entertainment, also amplified these anxieties, blurring the lines between reality and nightmare. Have you ever felt trapped in darkness like they did? The psychological impact of sustained isolation and fear, even for those accustomed to it, would have been considerable. Historical accounts, though scarce on direct psychological observations, often hint at the reliance on faith, community, and routine as coping mechanisms. The daily rituals, the shared meals, and the collective prayers offered a semblance of order and comfort in a world that was often unpredictable and harsh. Despite the grim realities, the story of surviving medieval castle nights is ultimately one of remarkable human resilience and the enduring power of community. It wasn't just about enduring hardship, it was about finding warmth, comfort, and connection in the darkest of hours. The very act of huddling together for warmth fostered a sense of solidarity. In the shared vulnerability of the night, social hierarchies might have softened slightly, as everyone faced the same fundamental challenges. The collective snoring in the great hall, the shared anecdotes whispered in the flickering light of a rushlight, the quiet comfort of another human presence, these were the small moments that knitted together the fabric of medieval night life. The ingenuity displayed in their survival tactics, from the simple effectiveness of layering clothes to the precious luxury of a bed warmer, speaks volumes about their adaptability. They didn't have the technology we do, but they had an intimate understanding of their environment and a deep-seated drive to survive. Think of the medieval castle not just as a cold, imposing fortress, but as a crucible where human spirit was forged. In those long, dark nights, surrounded by silence broken only by the wind and the creaking of timber, people found ways to endure. They told stories, sang songs, and perhaps most importantly, they relied on each other. The faint glow from a distant hearth, the shared warmth of huddled bodies, the knowledge that others were facing the same challenges, these were the beacons that guided them through the medieval night. They weren't just surviving, they were living, loving, and forging connections in the most challenging of circumstances. Their nightly struggles, so starkly contrasted with our modern comforts, offer a powerful lesson in human endurance and the profound importance of community. The mystery of how they survived medieval castle nights is honestly less of a mystery and more a testament to the incredible strength of the human spirit. As our journey through the medieval night draws to a close, let's reflect on the profound resilience of those who called these ancient walls home. They faced bone-chilling cold, suffocating darkness, pervasive smells, and the constant threat of the unknown, yet they found ways to endure, to find warmth, and to forge connections. Their story isn't just about survival, it's a testament to the human spirit's ability to adapt, to innovate, and to find light even in the deepest shadows. If this journey through a medieval night moved you, if it made you see castles not just as fairy tale structures but as places where real people fought real battles against the elements, hit that like button. Share your thoughts below. What surprised you most about medieval castle nights? We read every comment. And pass this story to someone who'd love to unravel the mystery of how people truly lived in a world so different from our own. Join us next time as we delve deeper into the fascinating realities of the past.